Dashiell's City Press presents Spending Your Way to Wealth, setting your compass course and steering in the direction of true wealth. Written by Paul Hayes, read for you by Mark J. Mccracken. This audiobook includes all the chapters in the printed book. However, since audiobooks do not lend themselves to containing graphs, diagrams, pictures, and appendices, they are not included in this audio version. The author will gladly provide printed copies of the omitted pages at no charge to anyone so requesting. Also, because this is an audiobook and you may want to be able to read and use and own it as a reference material for the future, those wishing to obtain printed copies of the book or ebook publications, as well as the reference materials referred to earlier, can contact the publisher's website at www.investorship.com. The author, Paul Hayes, retired from several concurrent careers. The experiences including serving for 25 years as a financial advisor, vice president at Smith Barney, and founding member of a commercial bank, and president and CEO of an accounting and information company. He is also a retired Air Force officer. He spent the past 20 years expanding his and others' knowledge of the field of behavioral finance. He speaks regularly at public and private events, is a frequent speaker aboard cruise ships sailing throughout the world, and has worked collaboratively with the renowned personality, psychologist, and former director of the University of Washington's clinical psychology program. Together, they have conducted numerous workshops for individuals, organizations, and businesses. Ronald Smith is a psychology professor and former director of the clinical psychology training program at the University of Washington. His interests include personality, stress and coping, cognitive affective coping skills, training, and clinical personality assessment. His major research interests are in personality, the study of anxiety, stress, and coping, in a performance enhancement research and interventions. And now a foreword by Ronald E. Smith, Ph.D. In the late 1990s, Paul Hayes and I embarked on a program we dubbed INVESTORSHIP Training, a melding of his experience as a financial specialist and mine as a personality psychologist. It was an early example of the principles of behavioral finance, a movement that later won Daniel Kahneman, 2002, and Robert Shiller, 2013, the Nobel Prize. Our workshops explored the myriad ways in which social cognitive personality theory and the psychology of self-regulation could contribute to a financial education program. These practical, scientifically solid, and personally engaging events were incredibly well received by our audiences. Now, some 20 years later, Paul has achieved a quantum leap forward from our original efforts with this concise, practical, and accessible new book, INVESTORSHIP, Spending Your Way to Wealth. This short work demystifies the complex, and to many, daunting principles and facts that experts have come to embrace as behavioral finance. The psychological concepts that influence wealth-related decisions and behaviors, for better or worse, are clearly presented and the scientific basis made clear. The mental and emotional landmines that can sabotage financial decision-making are presented in an engaging and understandable manner, emphasizing how normal our influences are in our lives. Beyond that, the book provides behavioral guidelines for rational decision-making that requires conscious and unconscious awareness of the factors that influence wealth accumulation, on the one hand, and self-defeating money spilling, on the other. As the director of a clinical science doctoral program, this exemplifies purely and simply evidence-based practice of the highest order. This is not pop psychology. Rather, it's informed by a solid scientific base. As the author of more than 20 books, I have learned what works and what doesn't in terms of capturing and influencing readers. This book achieves those goals far better than most ivory tower products. It's a book directed at the average reader, including those.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?